We all reside in the same universe, yet we each perceive it differently. Enriched when we stand by people and sincerely try to understand their point of view. A book offers us the chance to view life from a different perspective. The rush of finishing a book that will undoubtedly change your life is overpowering. Sometimes they aren't even the selections from the top of the bestseller lists. These aren't necessarily the books that the world's most famous authors, most significant thinkers, or best writers have read. Frequently, a diverse selection of literature will question our preconceived notions about things like family, friendship, love, fear, trauma, hope, and joy, and help us change our minds. In this video, we will discuss 5 books that completely change the way you see the world. The video will be unique, so stick to the end. Before starting the video, smash the like button and subscribe to never miss out on any of our videos. Number 5. Sapiens by Yuval Noah Harari. With some predictions about the future, Sapiens is essentially a history of all humanity. From our earliest days as proto-humans in Ethiopia through our current internet civilization. According to Sapiens, humans are entirely unique from all other Earth creatures. We were just another animal only 100,000 years ago. However, we are gradually transforming into gods, capable of altering the climate, exploring every nook and cranny of the planet, creating weapons that may wipe off the whole human race, and eradicating countless species. In Sapiens, we examine the distinctive characteristics of Homo sapiens that made all of this possible. Humans can believe in myths, including religion, money, and artificial institutions like nations and limited liability companies, so it's not just because we're intelligent. We can collaborate on a massive scale because of these beliefs. However, commerce allows for cooperation between any 2 people on Earth. Large groups can also develop ties based on ethnicity and religion, even if they are not genetically related. When you add intelligence to that, you have the makings of a species capable of extraordinary feats on incredible scales. This book looks at the world without assuming a set of values, in contrast to most books which view the world through a Western prism. Reading it can make your head explode. It raises a lot of provocative issues and challenges several commonly accepted beliefs. It will also provide a fascinating view of how human history unfolds. Number 4. The Lean Startup by Eric Ries. The work of the Harvard academics was primarily theoretical. They would meticulously draw out an airplane on paper while trying to theoretically make it fly. Then, after construction and testing, it would not work. The Wright brothers used an alternative strategy. They would construct a flying contraption as cheaply as possible, test it, and then crash it. After taking note of what went wrong, they would create another flying device, but it would crash. They kept repeating this until they had solved every issue and one of their airplanes was able to stay in the air. Even today, if you commit a grave mistake at work that costs your employer a lot of money, you will likely be fired as a scapegoat. As a result, most people make every effort to succeed. Eric Ries provides an unconventional prescription for starting anything new in the lean startup. Formulate a hypothesis, test it, and then fail. Next, develop a new idea, try it, and fail again. Continue until you succeed, taking what you can from each setback. This is a fantastic strategy for developing a startup. A startup is a company that wants to try something entirely different. Thus, there's a great deal of uncertainty for startups. The best method to deal with such uncertainty is to conduct numerous inexpensive experiments that will allow you to fail, gain knowledge, and ultimately succeed. Number 3. Reality is Broken by Jane McGonigal. One of the primary sources of meaning in many people's lives is their work, and when individuals work on something meaningful to them, it leads to joy. The problem is that most jobs over the past few centuries haven't been particularly fulfilling. Factory labor saps your spirit, office work is monotonous, and working for a big corporation you don't support. That doesn't function ethically and just doesn't feel right. According to Jane McGonigal, happiness results from doing the correct type of job and meaningful work that we continually improve at. The fact that games replicate the right kind of work is why people enjoy them. McGonigal contends that we must make work feel more like play. Some people believe that all they would need to be happy would be to retire in a private island and drink cocktails all day. But it couldn't be further from the truth. Most individuals would get bored if they had nothing to do all day. Unemployed people are miserable all the time. Find work that matters to you, and then stop whining about your job. If you dislike your job, it's probably not because the work is generally bad. Instead, it's just that you're in the wrong setting. Search for the ideal environment for a while. Number 2. Why Nations Fail by Darren Acemoglu and James Robinson. Why Nations Fail illustrates how particular institutions established by governments impact how well a nation grows. Substantial property rights, capitalism, and non-corrupt governments are often characteristics of developing nations. Generally, countries that lack capitalism have weak property rights or have corrupt governments that fail to advance. Additionally, prosperous nations must welcome fresh innovations that spark creative destruction. And instead of treating ordinary people like slaves, serfs, or peasants, they must offer them a way to improve their situation in life by adding value to others. That helps to explain how regions with similar cultures, such as East and West Germany or North and South Korea, may have different economies because of the incentives their residents experience. Many resources have been used to reduce third world poverty. However, Why Nations Fail argues that increasing spending on infrastructure or education is not the solution. A nation must get its act together and adopt free market economic principles if it wants to develop. Number 1. Anti-Fragile by Nassim Nicholas Taleb. Anti-Fragile's central thesis is that some things, such as the food business and the human body, improve when faced with uncertainty and turbulence. Before Taleb produced Anti-Fragile, we didn't even have a label for this concept because it is counterintuitive. However, in reality, several things benefit from disorder in the long run, including the restaurant sector and the human body, which grows more robust in response to various stressors like exercise. Many human systems are created to reduce short-term variance because humans lack the understanding that conflict can be beneficial. But regrettably, when we eliminate short-term variability, we frequently raise the likelihood of a severe disaster. Consider forest fires as an example. In the past, we tried to eliminate any forest fires we encountered. But as time passed, woods amassed a lot of dead wood, which eventually caused enormous, disastrous fires. The same is true of economic systems. Since humans dislike significant price fluctuations, politicians prefer to temporarily support markets by enacting stimulus measures and printing money. Unfortunately, this typically only causes a more substantial fall in the future. Due to the massive amount of cash generated 2 years ago so that stimulus checks could be distributed, we are experiencing almost double-digit inflation. A fragile system with 1 or 2 significant weak points will eventually fall apart. Therefore, it's a good idea to make any complicated system redundant, foolproof, and adaptable to change. This was all for today. I hope you liked the video. Let us know your opinion in the comments section below. Stay safe, and we will be right back soon with another video. For more information, subscribe and watch other videos from our channel.